Hey guys, it's Sam from Chalice and Chains, and I wanted to do just a really quick sort of reflections video on the one shot that I played this weekend that Barker ran, titled "The Trenches of Hallowhall." So maybe I'll title this "The Reflections of Hallowhall" or "The Survivors of Hallowhall." Um, just kind of my own personal reflections on it. It was a great game. Obviously Barker puts on a show and brings a really good quality to his games. And the players were great. I mean, if you get a chance to watch it, I think the role play was really great. One of the things that I thought was really cool was how we were able to kind of connect our characters in game, because we had been kind of talking, in the lead up in a group chat before the game, for about a month, I think, but we didn't really know much about our characters. We had some very, very surface level stuff. But when you see the game, the connections between the characters was pretty deep, or it developed into something pretty deep, which I thought was really cool. And it was funny because we had no real reason to do that. And in fact, my character and Ben Dunster's character were sort of opposing each other in a sense. Ben's character had a bounty on his head that I was trying to collect. And so, but in the end, it played out really, just kind of a very fascinating and I thought really good role play moment. So you guys will want to check that out. Now, another reflection, the game was about 5 hours long, which was interesting because I think it was scheduled for about 3. But as will happen when you have people that are great role players, they will role play, and sometimes that takes a while. So for me, that was okay. Like I didn't have a problem. I mean, I was wrecked afterwards. I was super tired, but I had a great time, and it did not feel like it was 5 hours. So that was an interesting thing as well. And I felt a little bit like, for me, I was a little bit disappointed in my own performance, just because, for one, I was playing the Variant Ranger and I didn't fully understand how to use them. Although I used the Ambuscade and Skirmisher Stealth ability, I thought, to pretty good effect. Certainly those are negated by bad dice rolls, which they were in some cases, and I never got to use my Stalker's Fangs because I think I screwed up the timing on when I was gonna get my animal companion, or spirit companion, but that's okay. And one of the things that frustrated me that I did was the thing that I always tell players in my games not to do, which was to, say, can I make this kind of roll? But, it happened. I think I did it once, so it wasn't a big deal. And what else? I think the other observation for me that came out of the game is that I have a hard time playing 5th edition. I've mostly run D&D 5th edition. I've played it a little bit. But every time I play 5th edition D&D, I find that I keep finding myself saying, man, I'd rather do this in Fate. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why that's the case. I really like 5th edition D&D. I think it's a great system. I think it's really great to run as a DM. But I don't know, something about it. And I wasn't sure because, it's kind of my fallback system too right now. Like if I'm going to run a game and I don't necessarily, especially if it's a fantasy game, and I maybe don't have a ton of time to prep, I'll probably run it in D&D. But what I'm finding as a player is that I don't want to play something like a spell, I don't want to play a cleric, I don't want to play a wizard or a sorcerer, even though those are really fun classes, because magic is just that much more complicated, and you have to keep track of spell points or spell slots, and you got to make sure, okay, what's the casting time in the area of effect, and it's just there's so much more complication that it frustrates me. And I feel like that's partly a reflection of the system and partly a reflection of my own preference. But I have found that for me, my personal experience has been the games that I've run in Fate. While they still have that same level of bookkeeping in a sense, you still have to keep track of aspects and when to use stunts and your rolls and all that. It's always felt a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more heroic to me in Fate. So that was an observation that I took away from this game. But one of the other things that was great, as Barker does, and I think anybody who has watched any of his stuff will realize that he has this amazing capacity to immerse you into his game and into his world through the screen as an audience member. So being a participant is even greater because then you're doing it live and you're participating in it, and you're getting the opportunity to go back and forth with that. But I definitely felt that, and I was really happy that the other players really brought they brought it all, and a couple of them had expressed the fact that they were nervous beforehand, and there was a couple of times during the game where some of them were nervous, but they did a remarkable job of really bringing some great role play moments. So I was really happy about that. The game turned out really well. I think that we probably foiled Barker's plans. I didn't get to watch the prep video yet, but from what I've been told, there was a certain aspect of the game that he really wanted us to experience that we didn't experience. But the ending of that game was phenomenal, especially Nikki Brown. She did a tremendous job narrating her sort of exit scene. So you have to watch that. She did a phenomenal job. So I give, big shout out to her. Ben Dunster's character, I obviously like, and I'm not going to give away why because that would be a bit of a spoiler, but check it out. He did a great job. Brandon did a great job. I think we all did a phenomenal job. And props to Barker for being his usual great storyteller. And to me, that's what it's about. I think Barker's like me in the sense that we don't necessarily know all the rules. And that was quite clear if you watched me trying to play 5th edition. Good Lord. But he tells a story, and he does a really good job of that. And at the end, at the essence of any role-playing game is the story. And so what I think was great about this group was that his masterful storytelling style allowed us to sort of feed off that and build off that and collaborate with that and put together, I think, a really entertaining story. So you guys should check that out. Let me know what you think. And, keep an eye out on my channel. I'm going to be, I mentioned it at the end of that one. We're not going to be able to do it on the 13th, but I'm definitely going to run a Dresden or a Batman versus Dresden Fate one-shot with Matt Click as Batman and Michael Barker as Dresden, so that'll be fun. That's going to mostly just be, it'll probably be pretty short. It's just going to be a battle. We're going to, just have some fun doing that. But expect to see more Fate run on my channel when I start running games again, because I'm loving it. I'm hopeful to be able to run an Eberron one-shot or maybe a 3-shot in using Fate probably. Maybe in the next couple of months, but it might not be until early 2016. And I may also run a Wheel of Time 5th edition game because there just was a fan supplement that came out. So check out all that. But definitely check out the Trenches of Hallowhall. I've put the link in the description below, so check that out. And let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the game, on really anything. So, like, subscribe, do the whole thing, and happy gaming.